I'm Chris Yorro, head of agency development at Yelp. Super excited to be here with Jessica Grigoriou, senior vice president for condiments at Unilever. And, I just wanted to, before we dive in, my job at Yelp is so much fun because we actually get to see how cultural moments like the Super Bowl inspire people's food searches and conversations, both in restaurants and in the home with like home recipes. So it's exciting to see brands like Hellmann's actually show up on the platform through people talking about their innovative flavors and their campaigns, not just like searching for them, but referencing reviews and dining decisions. So excited because we're going to take a deeper dive into that, how Hellmann's marketing strategy is deeply rooted in culture. So Jessica, before we dive in, Jessica is her team is a powerhouse. I mean, when Sally met Hellmann's last year, my favorite commercial from 2025, and she's really great at creating moments that don't just capture attention, but invite audiences into the experiences. So before we dive into that, some quick rapid fire questions. Do you have a favorite sports team?
All right. Hi, everyone. Let's do it. So happy to be here. Favorite sports team. Okay. I'm originally from Canada, so I feel Canada adopts the Bills as their football team. So I think that's my team. But I will say this weekend, I'm rooting for the Patriots, which is a Hellmann's partner team.
Awesome. And what are you doing for the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I'm very excited. I'm going to the game here. So this is a big weekend that I'm thrilled to be part of.
Awesome. And what's your favorite game day food?
Oh, of course, the creamy buffalo chicken dip made with Hellmann's. If anyone hasn't tried that yet, you need to. It is a crowd pleaser. Any watch party I have at home, it's like my go-to dish, and people love it.
Gotta try that.
You have to try that.
I've tried the Chipotle. I've tried the garlic aioli.
This one,
try that.
yes.
So obviously we talked a little bit about your impressive marketing and strategy background. In just a minute or so, can you tell us more about your experience in your current role?
Yeah, absolutely. So I lead our end-to-end marketing team at Unilever for condiments. So brands like Hellmann's, Sir Kensington, and Mai. I've been at Unilever 19 years, which is crazy. People don't say that anymore. That's a long time. First 10 in Canada, the last 9 here. And I work with an incredible team. We do all of our campaign comms, product innovation, media. So it's been a lot of fun.
So we talked about how Hellmann's marketing strategy is deeply rooted in culture. Can you tell us more about how you leverage cultural insights to shape your campaign strategies, and specifically how it drives sort of this genuine and authentic conversation on social media?
Yes. No, for us, everything starts in culture. It's how you can build this more emotional connection, resonate with people, and then also find a authentic role for your brand. If it's not authentic, we don't do it. There has to be a very natural connection. Thankfully, food and football is definitely one that goes hand in hand. But this year, this will be our 6th year at the big game with a spot, and a couple components we've really leveraged to break through in culture this year. First is music. So music, I think, can bring people together just like great food can. So music, you'll see, is a big part of our ad this year. Nostalgia, which we definitely tapped into last year as well. But it's, I love the term nostalgia. So looking back, something that people love and connect with, but how do you make it fresh and relevant and modern and reimagine it in today's world? And humor. I think that's another element that Hellmann's we've done year on year, and that lets us not take ourselves too seriously about our product and find a really creative way, authentic way for our product, but entertain and connect and engage with people too.
And I think the Meal Diamond teaser is a great example of that sort of creative approach rooted in culture and building excitement as we get to the Super Bowl. So we want to take a look at the teaser.
This is the ad, actually. Yeah. We're going to play the whole ad.
You're going to play the whole ad?
Yeah, we're going to play the whole ad.
Awesome.
I was born in this deli. My best friend was that bologna. That is until I met you. Sweet sandwich time. Hellmann's makes
incredible.
Incredibly lonely.
That's amazing. And great timing with the Song Sung Blue movie coming out at the
Happy
same
happy
time, right?
coincidence. But this is where, again, when you're playing with something that is so big in culture, things build and grow around it too.
Right. So that's a really good example of how you use kind of like several Easter eggs in there. You used teaser eggs before this. How did you kind of like generate that buzz ahead of the Super Bowl? Like, tell us about how you kind of developed all of the teasers and Easter eggs with Andy Samberg and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So that will be the main spot that you'll see this weekend. But ahead of time, we did a couple things. So one, we did have a brand teaser where you saw the character of Neil Diamond kind of getting ready. He's like zipping up his boot. He's putting the comb through his hair. But we haven't revealed who he is. So at that point, you don't know it's Andy. You don't know what he's doing. You see him take a bite of a sandwich. We're like, there's the music playing without lyrics of Sweet Caroline. So we're building the intrigue. So all of that was meant to start the speculation on what is happening, who is Meal, what is this going to be about. So that was one big moment that we did. And the other, and we play off, behaviors that people love. So singing along to your favorite song or celebrity spottings. Everyone's like, who's who? Where are they going? So if you caught Elle Fanning in the ad, she was our cameo at the end and a little kind of Easter egg in the middle. And earlier this month, she was caught by paparazzi walking down the streets of LA with a little bottle of Hellmann's in her bag. And so Elle herself is a mayo super fan. She talks a lot about how she puts mayo on literally everything, Hellmann's in particular. So that was another way we were just creating intrigue on like, okay, something's happening. What can it be? And then the third pillar is really with creators. And I think, again, because this year we played so much into music, we were able to partner with creators in different verticals, music, lifestyle, food. And we had some incredible engagement on assets where you can see one, Jake Amazing with his Neil Diamond shirt, where he's playing some of the song without the lyrics, like who is Neil, like kind of trying to drive intrigue and solving the mystery of the teaser.
That's amazing. And I know like most people probably haven't seen the full commercial yet. So with all of the early teasers, like what early impact have you seen even ahead of the Super Bowl as far as like online engagement and conversations?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And response has been great. Like we're trying to see, okay, are people engaging, reading the comments? I live in the comments. That's where you actually can learn so much about your brand and what people are actually really thinking and feeling. And so really looking at the sentiment, comments, engagement, shares, earned impressions. Those are all the metrics that we're looking at to see, okay, have we hit something in culture, and that allows us to continue to expand and grow the campaign.
Yeah, I love how you're kind of like inviting fans into the brand story and the experience through these playful surprises and sometimes hidden clues. Like, how do you balance that sort of like authenticity that truly resonates with the audience versus something that may feel forced or gimmicky?
Yes. Yeah, I think it comes back to making sure, number one, there is an authentic role for your brand to play. So of course, in this spot, we're actually, through the character of Neil Diamond, trying to give the sandwich a star moment too. It's the sandwich is in so many tailgates and watch parties for the Super Bowl, but doesn't get that star shining moment. So through this and through Neil Diamond's humor and song, it's literally in the lyrics. Hellmann's makes it taste so good, so good. So the role of the brand's important. And then this one, we obviously were so fortunate to work with Andy Samberg, who's obviously known for musical parody. Him and his writing team worked really closely with us. So actually a lot of the lyrics we collaborated with him on. He brought so much of himself to it. Like when he showed up on set, in that wig, I'm like, whoa, is this Andy or is this Neil?
No, I didn't recognize him at first.
Yes, and some people don't. They're like, there was one comment that was so funny. They're like, wow, this guy looks a lot like Andy Samberg. Hey, it is, but that's so he brought his own, I think, authentic humor, and he wanted obviously to feel really authentic coming from him too. So being able to co-create that with him, I think helped the humor land and really feel authentic for both us and him as well.
That's so Fun. And then you also did a bunch of fun activations around this campaign. I'm a singer, so I love this sing for a sandwich. I love the shoppable
do you want to
karaoke.
sing for us right now?
Maybe later over cocktails. But
Sure.
I loved the shoppable karaoke activation.
Yes.
What was the strategy behind that?
Yeah, so for us, and actually throughout the morning, we've heard the same thing. You know, Super Bowl is so much more than just that one 30-second spot on the day of. It's creating this whole ecosystem around it. So again, this campaign with music allowed us to play into so many different avenues. So, and another, we were talking about Easter eggs earlier. I don't know if anyone caught, two creators were actually in the spot, Keith Lee and Salt Hank, who are huge food influencers. Salt is a chef, and they actually were in the ad, which was really exciting. And Salt was recently on the Drew Barrymore show this year, making the meal diamond sandwich, or this week, sorry. And then we had a partnership with Jimmy John's, so actually bringing that ham and cheese melt from the ad to life with Jimmy John's. So not only can you make it at home with Hellmann's, but you can go to Jimmy John's and have it there. It's a ham and 3 cheese melt. We had our Sing for a Sandwich. That's where, you know, you could come in. It was just a couple days ago in New York. You can sing our full, we shared the 30, we have a 60-second version, and get the Meal Diamond Jimmy John sandwich. And then other amazing things with Amazon Ads, Mayo for a Melody. We have a great partnership with SiriusXM through audio, because music allows us to extend in those spaces too. And Patriot send-off party, since they're a partner. And this weekend, watch out for Lyft, like blue sequin Meal Diamond cars to transport you around the city to and from events. So just building this whole world and moments for people to engage, interact, participate, and feel part of the storytelling. And,
cool.
And crave a sandwich.
Right. Make people hungry. So I love the Meal Diamond activation, but I have to say my favorite commercial, maybe even of all time, but it's like of the Super Bowl last year, was when Sally met Hellmann's commercial. So let's take a look.
I can't believe they let us back in this place.
What, no good?
No.
Oh. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, boy.
So good. Oh, it's so.
This one's real.
Oh. Now that is a sandwich. I'll have what she's having.
Love the Sydney Sweeney cameo as well. I mean, you guys layered in so many clever Easter eggs, even like the camera lens where you filmed it, the lines, the complex order. Can you walk us through the process working with Meg Ryan, Billy Crystal, how you weaved all those details in, who was in the room when you planned this? I'd love to hear like how it all came together.
Oh, I love this. And this is, I think, will forever be one of my favorite campaigns too. It was like, how do we top this? Was our debrief from last year. But this one was ripe with Easter eggs, and what we wanted to do, and it was so intentional, because for people who genuinely love this movie, which many, many, many do, we wanted to provide all of those little Easter eggs and connections and moments that, you know, for people who know, will really appreciate it. And if you don't and you miss it, that's okay. The storyline still makes a lot of sense. So a few things we did. So if you are a fan and know the movie, you know, Sally is very particular about how she orders, right? Like, she does not just order a sandwich. It is sliced this way and everything on the side. And so the teaser last year was this waitress on the left, where she was just taking an order. And at the end, you hear Meg Ryan's voice say, or it was in Hellmann's Mayo on the side. So that was a nod to her character. Obviously, there was tons of speculation. We had a photo of Meg and Billy together, reunited. Like, what are they doing together? So that drummed up a lot of excitement. And then the other fun thing we did tapping into creator partners was, and again, this is when you tap into culture, so many like serendipitous things happen that fall, that the hairy cable knit sweater was truly trending in fashion. There were so many articles about it. We're like, wow, this is good timing. So we created our own version of the hairy cable knit sweater in shade Hellman's Cream. And with influencers and creators, they were wearing this as they were making their delicious sandwiches. So we were trying to plant little Easter eggs across different things. We filmed at Katz's Deli, as you mentioned, in the exact same camera lens of the film. So really trying to be authentic. I think in general, both with the Sweet Sandwich Time this year and last year, like when you're honoring something that is so iconic in culture, you want to pay tribute to that and respect the original, but again, like bring something fresh to it. But it's very intentional on how we make sure we're honoring what was so amazing about the original.
Love that commercial so much. And then the Sydney Sweeney cameo. How did you guys?
Yeah, we wanted to
Her in there.
make sure like it was cross-generational. So in the original, it was an older woman actually who played that role, and so we wanted to kind of flip the switch and bring in someone younger to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna now want what they're having. And so it's such an iconic line that we wanted to be able to deliver in a way that would break through in culture.
That's awesome. So fun fact, over the last 2 years, Yelp's data science team has actually seen a notable increase in searches related to mayonnaise.
Oh, I love that.
And it's specifically around this growing curiosity around innovative, bold flavors, trending recipes, a lot of which Hellman's has also created. And all of these searches are driven by these cultural moments and what's popular in social. So what's interesting is that once the trends catch on, consumers are coming to Yelp to find where they can experience it on their own, purchase the products or enjoy those products for themselves. And it sort of like closes the loop. And so with that in mind, would love to hear, let's talk about measurement. Like, how do you measure the real impact of these kind of buzzworthy campaigns? We talked about the conversations, online conversations, but also like through the funnel, are you looking, at sales, and just how do you look at all that?
Yes, no, it's a great question. I think one my CFO will ask me every year. So it's different ways. So one is the cultural impact, and honestly, that's one of the biggest things that we do look at: conversations, engagements. I mean, last year's campaign had 40 billion earned impressions. It's a big number. We were really excited about. But then we also want to make sure we're achieving brand impact too and long-term brand equity. So, we're measuring, is this driving our brand meaning and salience and difference, and how is the impact on our equity long-term? And then short-term, yes. I mean, we want you to see both last year's and this year's. Hopefully you are craving a sandwich and it's inspiring you to make and enjoy more sandwiches with Hellman's. Obviously you want that, everything. How does Hellman's elevate taste in the moment? I think we have incredible retail partners that we actually bring this to life through to commerce in store as well. So we're looking at kind of the short term, long term, and the cultural impact as the three together.
And then the bottom funnel, do you look at the bottom, like is there an MMM model where you're looking at bottom funnel sales as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes. Yeah. It's rapid ROI. Yeah. And so we're looking at also the interactions between channels too. So, what we saw last year, obviously TV plus social plus this, it magnifies the impact. So really looking at the channels we invest in and bring the campaign to life into.
And so I'm sure like there's a lot of marketers in the room that are also looking at cultural moments, whether it's sports or other moments. And, I do think measurement in these things is challenging. And you've talked about your CFO. I'm sure he's constantly all over
great.
the marketing team, wondering what the impact to the bottom line is. So like a couple of questions, like how do you think about that? First of all, what advice do you have for brands that are also looking to capitalize on sports and meaningful cultural moments in marketing and create that social impact? And then also advice on measurement, if you have it.
Yes. Okay, so first one I would say, again, that find your authentic way in for us, again, food and football. But I thought the Lowe's example for this morning was great too. It's the role that they can play to clear your to-do list so that you can enjoy game day. So finding that insight and way in for your brand, number one, I think most important. Two, the Super Bowl last year had 127.7 million viewers. And that number grew. So hopefully we keep growing year on year. But that's incredible. That's the one place that you actually can have that level of attention. And we know that people actually do pay attention to the ads. It's why so many brands want to play there. So I think for us, like, you want creative that cuts through. It can't be forgettable. So being able to be a bit more bold in the creative risks that you take. You saw last year that we really pushed it more than we had in the past. And then this year, I think our fresh take on Sweet Caroline. So don't be forgettable. But then third, you can be memorable, but no one has any idea what it's for. So I think clarity of your message, and again, the role you play within that ecosystem is really important as a brand.
Yeah, and I love how you talked about the cross-generational aspect too, because Gen Z probably, most of them probably haven't seen When Harry Met Sally, or maybe they have, but most didn't grow up with it like I did.
Exactly.
And so throwing Sydney Sweeney in to speak to all audiences, I think is...
And in that one, I mean, that was something we really looked at last year in particular, was because you're right, the younger generation maybe hadn't seen it. Many were actually familiar with that scene. But what we found is even if you didn't know the original reference, the enjoyment of that ad was still really strong. So we were looking for attention, enjoyment. Again, does your storytelling and the role of the brand make sense?
Well, thanks again, Jessica. I learned a lot. I hope the audience did as well. This was a fun panel. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.